Hey there, Cheesemeisters. Welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I am Jeff, and my hypocrisy knows no bounds. Joining me on the other end of the internet, my cuz host.
I'm Leslie, and I have two guns, one for each of you.
Yeah. Um,
Who had the better Val Kilmer?
I know,
Right
right?
now.
Vote. Share if it's Leslie. Like if it's Jeff. Silliness. Okay, so this week, Cheesemeisters, we are watching Tombstone, the 1993 What You Find Out When You Skin That Smoke Wagon masterpiece. Written by Kevin Jari, directed by George Cosmatos, starring, are you ready?
Everyone. Every man.
Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton Powers, Booth, Michael Bine, Charlton Heston, Jason Priestley, John Tenney, Stephen Lang, Thomas Hayden Church, Dana Delaney, Dana Wheeler Nicholson, the two best Danas, Michael Rooker, Billy Bob Thornton, Paul, Ben, Victor, Billy Zane, John Corbett, Terry O'Quinn, and I left out a bunch of other people. We are watching this in conjunction with Season 4, Episode 8, Otherwise Engaged, because this movie came out in December of 1993, and this episode aired in November or something. We were close. So it just felt like it was about time to watch Tombstone. Our spelling connections, there are going to be a lot, but there's only two that matter. One of them is Charlton Heston, who was in the Colbys, and the other is your boy Brandon Walsh, Jason Priestley, and Jason Priestley's haircut.
Oh my God.
So I'm 100% convinced that this is the reason his hair looks like that.
And we can get into it and what else if you want, but we texted about this. It did not need, he didn't have to do that. I don't know if he did that willingly or if they were like, we want something different for this character.
Yeah. I mean, we will definitely talk about it because if we start now, we may never talk about anything else.
And there's so much more important shit to talk about in this movie that I did not expect to like.
Oh, so you liked it. Yay. So, my contention going into it, I think I said last week, your enjoyment of this movie will ride on whether you enjoyed Val Kilmer's performance or not. Do you think that was an accurate statement? And if so, how did you vibe with that performance?
I don't think Val Kilmer is the most out there part of this film, to be honest. There are various parts where I'm like, that could be cheesy if this weren't being so well shot, if this weren't being so well acted.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bought it. I so bought, is he, that's Doc Holliday. Like, no one will ever care. If you tried to do a movie on just Doc Holliday now, if you don't do what Val Kilmer did, you're wrong. We don't care. That's the legacy of that role now. And so, but even then, with it being that large, I don't feel like it felt so far out of the world because Westerns in general kind of feel insane.
Sure.
So
I don't think that I think his performance drives the movie.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like it, like if you were like, that feels extra, like to the point where I just can't ride with it, then I feel like you wouldn't like the movie.
I've never been more attracted to Val Kilmer. This is a strange feeling for me.
Okay, so this is our third Val Kilmer movie. We've hit 75% of his iconic roles, depending on how much you like Willow. But you know, we did Real Genius, which is like iconic Val Kilmer comedy role. We did The Doors, which is iconic sink all the way in, be this dude performance. And we've got Doc Holliday. The one we haven't watched is Top Gun.
I'm good.
You know, I am too. But so those three things are wildly different performances. And I love them all.
Yeah.
Is of the three, which are you like, that's the most iconic? Because it's not real genius, but that's so great.
Sure.
But of the other two,
it's so even though when we watched The Doors, my eyes were just like, I mean, the lids were removed completely because I thought, oh shit, this man can act.
Yeah.
Which I know, world, that is shocking that I was just now learning this. Forgive me. But no, I feel like this one might be his most iconic.
It is. I mean, it's amazing. It's just, and the whole film is cast so, I feel so pretentious. The whole film. But the whole movie is fucking loaded with talent.
Yes.
And you're right. Like, it could come off as over the top or silly or like melodrama if the performances weren't all done by people who were just that fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, like you've got like, and this is, you know, pre Sling Blade, so like people don't know that Billy Bob Thornton is Billy Bob Thornton yet. But
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, this is before he lost all his weight. Yeah, he used to be round faced. But having that small part played by someone that fucking good, like he would steal this movie if it wasn't for all the other people in it. You know what I mean? Like, he's so great just in that one scene where he just stands there and bleeds.
I know. Oh my god.
I mean,
and he just gets bitch slapped over and over. Honestly, I love that because
it was so good. Yeah, just but the Val Kilmer performance, like every line he says is iconic because of the way he delivers it and that little drawl he has, that accent from I don't know where.
I just said the same thing
land.
Watching clips of it. I turned to Walter and I said, I don't know where he picked up this dialect from, but I love it and it's perfect.
Yeah, the dialect and apparently the Daisy if you do is something that Doc Holliday actually said in real life at that moment.
Oh.
Yeah, like that was overheard and reported on in the newspaper at the time. So like he talked like that. At least like that, you know, he used that phrase. No word on if he ever said he was anybody's Huckleberry or not.
The language in this was its own character. I mean, they clearly looked up slang. I was really impressed because I mean, there were when I was rewatching some of it, I had captions on because I was there were definitely things that I had heard, but I thought I don't know what the fuck they mean when they're saying like, oh, everyone's dressed all Tony around here, and I'm like, what the fuck? Oh. And that's not the exact line, but it's something along that. And yeah. You would really have to listen. They had their work cut out memorizing.
Well, yeah, this is a dialogue heavy film. But all of the great stuff is like one-liners. Like it's all this real quick stuff. So I don't know. Here's what happens in this movie, you guys. This is basically about the gunfight at the OK Corral. Based on real events with real people who really did this shit, and some of them really said this shit. But it's Wyatt Earp, famed Old West lawman, settles in Tombstone, which is a boom town. It started as a cattle town, but I think they might have found some
silver.
Silver is what it was, yeah. And so the town was like growing and fancy, but also lawless because it was run basically by the Cowboys, which is just a band of bandits. that always wore a red sash. Makes him easy to see, especially if you're making a movie. You're like, oh, that red sash is a bad guy. And so Wyatt Earp moves to town, but he doesn't want to be a lawman anymore.
Done with that.
He just wants to. Yeah, he's done. That's in his rear view. He wants to settle in and make some money. His brothers join him, Virgil and Morgan. Going to be family business time, and their friend Doc Holliday is in town. This is not the setup for a movie. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And quickly there develops some kind of friction back and forth between the Earps and the Cowboys. Various things occur. People come to town. A traveling theater troupe comes to town, and on the nose they do a scene from Faustus and
Henry V.
Yeah, Henry V. But he falls for the Lady Devil, and he's got a wife who's just fucked up on laudanum, which is also
wouldn't be
right, which is also real. She died of laudanum poisoning, like right after they left Tombstone. Like that really happened.
Yeah.
And he tries not to become a lawman, but when Curly Bill shoots the sheriff, meanwhile, down the street at the opium den.
Yeah.
When I first saw this movie, the many number of times I'd seen this movie, I don't think I knew or paid attention or noticed the fact that all this shit happens because that dude is tripping balls.
Same.
Yeah.
I had a feeling the first time around that he was fucked up because he was just like, oh, loosey-goosey. But yeah. I completely spaced on the fact that he had been in an opium den. And of course, we'll get to this later, but that's the one time we see any Asian characters, which is unfortunate because they definitely mentioned a couple times the whole anti-Asian sentiment at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's okay, well, did you run them out of town? Where are they? You didn't run them out of town? Well, can we have them in someplace other than just an opium den with...
Yep. Nope, not in this movie. If you want that, and we're going to... I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about Deadwood, but it's kind of impossible not to acknowledge Deadwood when you talk about Tombstone and the language used and the role of Asians in the town and the whole Wild West with famous real life people in it.
Mm-hmm.
Deadwood blows this out of the water.
Okay, good.
This is super fun. This movie's great. Deadwood, it was a TV show on HBO, and it's hard to say. It's hard to oversell how great Deadwood is.
I've heard good things.
It's fucking amazing. So fucking Wu down at the end of the street, who hates Swidgen and San Francisco cocksucker. That aspect of the Old West apparently it's true enough to form that multiple Western shows are like, make sure we put some Asian characters in here and show how racist everybody was.
I guess it's clear that I haven't seen a lot of Westerns. Mm-hmm. That's definitely the Western part, not exactly, but I've been wanting to learn more about Asian American history recently, with regards to the West, but and of course I wasn't expecting this movie to be that. If anything, this movie was kind of like the Mad Men of its time in that it touched on things and said, well, these were sentiments. These were things going on. We are not the people to address this.
Right. We're telling a different story.
Yeah. So glad it was there. Would have loved more. But that's where, like you said, you mentioned Deadwood. Now I can go find Deadwood.
Yeah. So Curly Bill, who is in Deadwood, by the way.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's in Deadwood.
Wait, is he the main guy?
No, he's he is. I can't remember if he might be Cy Tolliver, who's like the second businessman who comes to town.
Okay. I won't know. I just the
No, but
vague
I don't want to be
picture
wrong
I
either.
oh
No, I'm right. Fucking right. Yeah, he's Cy Tolliver. I even had the character's name right. God damn it. Don't tell me. I'll tell you.
you're a daisy if you do.
Yeah, that's right.
I said that to
Wyatt
Amber
Bailey.
earlier.
Are we cross? So yeah, Wyatt is like he's trying to live in this town. He's trying to make money off this town, but he doesn't want to get involved. He's arm's length all this stuff, and but when Curly Bill shoots the sheriff and Virgil puts the badge on, Wyatt can't stand to the side anymore. He's got to stand with his family. They have to protect the town. And Virgil decides, I'm gonna pick a fight here. I'm gonna put an ordinance that you can't carry guns in town, and then I'm gonna go enforce it at the OK Corral.
They're coming for our guns.
That's right. And folks, they were.
They really were this one time. This one time.
They were. It happened. And the Earps all survived the shooting, as did Doc Holliday. The Cowboys involved did not. But then the Cowboys came back and shot Virgil and shot Morgan and killed Morgan. And Wyatt and Doc are like, fine. We don't want any more of this shit. We're leaving.
Yeah.
And Curly Bill says, well, bye. Which is fucking badass. But then they don't let it die. Spoilers. And the rest of the movie is Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday killing every last motherfucking one of you. Until Doc Holliday dies of tuberculosis.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. It's sad.
That was the love story. That was the only love story I needed. I'm just going to jump in and preface with that right now. I didn't need any other love story other than Wyatt and Doc.
I mean, that's the heart of the movie, right? I mean,
it is.
And it's that brotherhood between the four of them, mostly between Wyatt and the other three, because Virgil doesn't seem to want much to do with Doc, but their commitment to each other is kind of what gets them all fucked up, because they're going to back their brother's play in every circumstance, and all the way to the end where Doc should be just dying someplace, and instead he's out there with a gun, like ready to take on Johnny Ringo. And this it's like the one in a movie full of amazing quotes. The only thing I texted you that was a quote from this movie was when the one guy was like, I got lots of friends, and Doc goes, I don't. And that's the whole fucking thing. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. That's the movie right there, kids. And apparently, this is what I think is kind of interesting about this movie, is that I don't know how accurate it is, but all of this shit happened. Right?
I feel like it's as accurate as any period drama, because it's going to be told in a certain way that is exciting. And this definitely, like you said, there is stuff that has been noted in newspapers, but it's going to be elaborated upon. And most of the people there are dead or were dead. They're
all dead now. Yes,
they're, of course, but you know what I mean? By the time when they were making Westerns, no one actually cares about telling the story exactly how it happened. That would be boring.
No, I agree. It has to be you have to fictionalize this stuff. But what's amazing to me is how much of it is real. like literally, like all like these three Earps and Doc Holliday all went to Tombstone, and when they got there, it was run by this group of outlaws called the Cowboys, and they had all of these names. These are the real names of these real people. His wife with him just sucking down that laudanum, like that's real.
Yeah.
And the gunfight at the OK Corral, because Virgil tried to enforce this sheriff's this edict on the town, that's real. All that happened. The people who died there died there. Then his brother got killed. That happened. And then Wyatt and Doc Holliday went and killed them all and never got shot, which is like amazing. Like all that shit really happened. And and then he ended up married or living the rest of his life with that actress. Like all of that stuff sounds made up.
Yeah.
For a movie, you know, like they just happened to come to town and they just happened to, you know, bump shoulders the wrong way with the wrong people, and they couldn't, you know, and it escalated, and then he marries this other woman, and it all
legends.
It seems fake. Yes, it is the stuff of legend, and it's insane.
Yeah. And yet, I feel like this is the shit that Hollywood was born to tell. This was this is why Hollywood was created. That is what I felt in my bones when I finished this movie. I went, oh, this is why Hollywood exists. Like, they love a Western.
Oh my God, does Hollywood love
Oh my God, Hollywood is oak for Western, to quote Earp. Or Wyatt, there are three Earps.
All them Earps. What did you think of the religious overtones? Like, did you feel okay? Your face says you didn't feel it at all.
I missed those completely.
Okay, so like they're quoting Revelations, like over the opening title, right?
Oh, okay.
And then they've got Faust, right?
Yes.
And talking about how, like, you know, obviously the story of Faust, and then he sees her, and like that's the deal with the devil that he's got to make. And they even say stuff like that. And then when he's like chasing them down and executing them, they are the riders of the apocalypse. Yeah. And like, you know, and Doc says, you know, he's not after revenge. He's bringing a reckoning. Like, that's biblical shit.
Got it.
And so like they put all of those themes over the stuff that's going on. Like it's not super subtle. But I'm not sure that I picked up on too much of it in, you know, previous viewings either. But
here's the thing. I was never a good Christian student. So that stuff escapes me all the time. Mm-hmm. Same with, I know The Leftovers has a whole season like dedicated to the book of Job, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And you know, shit like that almost tempts me to read the Bible, because I'm like, oh, this sounds fascinating. But no, I tried that once and I failed. But so I think I didn't catch it. So I'm actually kind of glad, because I think it's, for me, that's more powerful. And if it's more subtle. But, you know, what about you?
I kind of felt like it was a hat on a hat.
Sure.
You know, like, I don't know that it's necessary, but if you're making a movie and you want there to be a theme to your characters and what they do, and to make it mean something, rather than just, ain't this some crazy shit that happened once, then, you know, like I think it's there. I don't think you have to paint with it so graphically.
I think that might be one of the other things that makes this movie borderline cheesy, because
Sure.
there were definitely moments where I was like, oh, we almost got there, but they pulled back from it just in time, because like
Mhm.
there was a slow handshake on the horses together, and I'm like, stop.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I mean,
Yep.
the I'm sorry, ending credits with all four of them just walking through Tombstone as
Mhm.
the names are coming across, and then the camera keeps going across all of their faces, and I'm like, well, now he's Jason Priestley. Well,
Right.
now he's some other, now he's Billy Bob Thornton. Like, it was, I mean, I bought it. Did I watch the entire credits because I was fascinated watching these four men commit to walking for an
Right.
extra hour on their day when they could have been done, but they said it's for the final credit. Oh my god.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's walk.
Look like you want to murder someone. Done.
Mhm.
Uh no, it's fascinating, but all of it is teetering on the edge of too much.
Yeah, it is. But like it, and I think that I don't well, okay, it's not even I think. I don't love the end of this movie. Um I love everything about this movie up until the OK Corral.
Oh.
Everything after that is a little too montagey. Um, it's like not the parts where like Virgil gets shot and comes in and Morgan's death and all that, but when they go about taking all the cowboys out, like it's just too. Like it's this real slow motion. It's just I don't know. Like if you're gonna, and I've not seen Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp movie, and so maybe this is what he does and why it's 3 hours. I do think there's something interesting in really showing the pursuit of the cowboys and taking them out one at a time. I think there's an interesting way to tell that story. Um, it involves way longer. Like this movie is like right around 2 hours. It would have to be three to do the thing I'm talking about. But I do feel like the last 20 minutes or so of slow motion cowboy shooting is not where the movie's at its strongest. Where the movie's at its strongest is super tight shots of Val Kilmer's face.
His sweaty face.
Yeah, his sweaty, jaundiced face. Or people sitting around a poker table um, not shooting each other, but like wanting to shoot each other. Like that's where the movie sizzles.
I mean, even the moment right before when Virgil's got his cane out and they're all poised, I like it's the still moments that are the most exciting.
Yeah, yeah. The tension of the build in this movie is really, really good. All of the release of the build doesn't work as well. I like it more when Wyatt Earp is able to win the room by posture and tone and
I,
maybe a backhand across the face.
oh my god, yeah. I I was reading a little bit about production of this film, and it sounds like they had a director who was taking too long. They fired him, and then they brought on this other director, but it sounds like Kurt Russell also had a hand in directing, possibly, like unacknowledged and
Uh-huh.
by his choice. So I wonder if it, for me, it didn't fall off, but let's, for the sake of conciseness here, say where it started to fall off. Maybe some of that came from they didn't trust that people were going to be excited by the dialogue and by,
Right. Maybe.
I would say, the more historically accurate moments, although you could quibble over that if you wanted to. Um, the more still moments and not the action.
Yeah.
It kind of suffers from the same problem. You're gonna be baffled here. Are you ready? That Pearl Harbor
I knew you were going
suffered
to say Pearl
from.
Harbor. Go ahead.
It was on TV earlier. I almost put it on because I wanted, I wanted to see if they had all the shit that they cut out.
The stuff I never got to see.
It's fine, but then I realized it was TV, and also, why would I do that to myself?
Because
Anyway,
Flyboy and Splashdown and Nursey
this is
are
the
waiting
problem
for you.
with historical movies sometimes, is that if there's any chance that you can sell it to a male audience, they're going to focus on that because they think men go to the movies more. I don't know. And so then they're going to rely on the action part of it. And then they're going to throw in a love story for, oh, well, they might bring their girlfriends, so let's give them a show. And I'm like, Val Kilmer's already in this looking fine as hell for having tuberculosis. Right. I think you're good.
You're great on a curve there, but that's all right. You know, like, he's hot for a TB patient.
Listen, I wasn't expecting to be interested in someone with TB in this, but like, he pops out in that vest, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
All the men were looking really good in this. The mustaches were great. The holsters. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I think there's this movie, the first half of this movie just crackles. I mean, it's just like the tension is there in every scene. The restraint of not shooting people is great. The little cup, like, that whole scene is so good. And those are the best parts of the movie. And they're so good that it makes you feel like the whole thing is great. And I don't think the whole thing is great. I think the first 3/4 of it are great. And the last part is like, I guess we got to wrap this part up. That's how it feels to me.
And it's funny.
I love the other stuff so much. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's funny you say that, because like, while I enjoyed the whole movie pretty much, as I was rewatching it, I am recalling now the fact that like, I sped through so much more of the second half because I really just wanted to see the dialogue scenes again.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we're watching this in 2025, so we know all these people now. Who knows if we would have felt this way then? But probably. I would have loved an hour more of just exploring some of these characters more. Like, I don't really know why we have Jason Priestley's character, Billy, in this.
I think, you want my guess without looking it up? He becomes the mayor of Tombstone after all this happens. Like, that's what happens at the end of the thing. He like runs back to the town. They need some law and order.
Which, like, I was like, that's Brandon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he put his Brandon hat back on. He was going to take care of the beach club.
He put his hand up to the Cowboys, and then they shot off a finger, and he got back on his horse.
That's right. Wyatt, no one could have seen this coming.
Everybody could have seen this coming.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, that's my guess, is that he was a real dude, and that's what happened. Because like, that's kind of what this movie does. Like, these are like, I don't think that, otherwise I don't understand why he goes up to her on the horse and is like, I'm going to go back to town and be the mayor or whatever. Like, okay, thanks, Billy. I mean,
we'll get to that more later.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I like Billy Zane too. Listen to your friend Billy Zane.
Oh man, I got so excited when he popped out of that carriage.
Yeah.
But also that moment he gets out and then she gets out and there's the umbrella and then the reveal. I went, oh, they copied that in Titanic, because he gets out of the car and then Rose gets out and you just see the hat and then there's this beautiful pan down to reveal Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think I want to talk about this cast a little bit.
Please.
Because like, this isn't one of those movies where you look at it now and go, wow, look at that person. I didn't know they were in this movie. And like, I didn't know they were, at the time they weren't famous. Like, you know, like when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, a young version of this person who they became this later, like Rebel Without a Cause, where you're like, that's Dennis Hopper. You know, like, it's his first movie and you're like, you blink and you miss him kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everybody in this movie was already known almost. And the people who were like coming up were already on TV. Like,
Okay.
like Kurt Russell was obviously a massive star from the 70s into the 80s. And this is not the first Kurt Russell performance we've had on the podcast. It's the third, right? Because he's in Hateful Eight and he does the voiceover in the second half of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And we got him here. This is our third Val Kilmer. We've done Sam Elliott at least twice now because, he's the stranger in The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Paxton. Have we done a Bill Paxton?
No.
But he was in that's a guy in a million fucking things before and after this.
So underrated in this.
And like the one that I was like low key might be like the most impactful of these performers is the guy who plays Johnny Ringo. And I didn't know who that was until I Googled it.
Who is he?
Michael Biehn or Bean, Biehn. He is Kyle Reese in The Terminator. He is Corporal Hicks in Aliens. And he's Lieutenant Coffee in The Abyss. Like, he's in 3 of the biggest science fiction movies of all time in major roles.
Yeah.
Fucking Kyle Reese in The Terminator, and you put a little mustache on him and give him a hat and you don't even recognize the dude.
It is astonishing what a mustache will do. Like, I don't know why
Right?
more superheroes don't put a mustache on instead of glasses, because that changes your look more.
Yeah. And then you've got fucking Moses is in this.
Which I did not even catch.
Oh, yeah. That was like some stunt casting shit there. Like, we need an old cowboy. Somebody called Charlton Heston.
Yep.
Like, so him being, and then Jason Priestley was like on one of the biggest TV shows on the planet when this movie comes out. And he has a larger role than Billy Bob Thornton or Billy Zane or John Corbett or Thomas Hayden Church. Like, but all those guys are people who were already on TV and already working, and people you were like, John Corbett's in this too? Yeah. Like, Northern Exposure was in like its 3rd season. Like,
yeah.
Like Michael Rooker had already done, was the Tom Cruise driving movie that he does, Days of Thunder. Like, this is way before Yondu, but still. Before he was stink palmed at the mall.
But after Cliffhanger.
Oh my God. Oh. So sorry, slight digression. Rob Morrow and Janine Turner have a podcast now called Northern Disclosure, where they're going through Northern Exposure. And I listened to the first episode, and she mentioned Cliffhanger like 3 times.
No.
Yeah, because it was like she was like, I hung from things.
They mentioned it on a Parks and Rec episode that we watched last night, and I thought, oh my God, I can't wait for you to get to that episode because you're going to hear it.
I'll be very happy about that.
Yeah, you will.
And then, Dana Delaney, who was already huge from China Beach, which is like, I'm sure you don't even know what that is. That's how people knew who Dana Delaney was. It was a TV show in the late 80s set in Vietnam. It was like a MASH kind of thing, but a drama. And I think she was a nurse. I never watched it, but it was big. And like so big, I knew who fucking Dana Delaney was. And then Dana Wheeler Nicholson just sucking down that laudanum when she's not hanging out with Fletch. For God's sake.
That's what's happened to her life.
Yeah, I'm saying. But like, we have done many episodes that feature the people in this movie. Like, so many of them we have done movies that they are in.
Yeah. You forgot Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church, yes. Yeah. In Sideways, yeah. So have we done a Billy? Did we done a Billy Bob Thornton?
I don't think so.
because he's not in. For a second, I thought he was in Hateful Eight, but he's not. I put him in there in my head
I
somehow.
swear, the only thing I have seen him in is Love Actually.
Oh my god! Oh, Billy Bob's good.
Is he?
Yeah, he's really good.
I mean, he's good in that. I mean, that's why I was so glad to see him get bitch slapped.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
You're getting this
No,
preemptively.
yeah. No, he's Sling Blade is great, and he is like I think wrote, directed, and starred in it. Like fucking great. He did a couple Coen Brothers things that he's really good in.
Oh,
Yeah, no, Billy Bob Thornton is, and he's in a new he's in one of the new Taylor Sheridan shows.
oh okay.
Yeah. By the way, and this is something we may have to dig into at some other point, but Taylor Sheridan is modern day Aaron Spelling.
Oh, you have mentioned this.
Yeah, he's out there doing the Aaron Spelling. Like it's pretty impressive. Not all the shows are like they're not Deadwood. These shows.
I think Shonda Rhimes is working her way up there as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd have to do a little more deep diving, but the Taylor Sheridan thing that also lines up for me is that he just casts like fucking hot women in everything, and you're like, well, that's the Aaron Spelling trick.
What else is gonna get people watching?
That's true. That's right. Well, look, if you're gonna put a shitty little love plot in this movie to bring the ladies in, you gotta put some smoke shows in so that the fellas sit down and watch the nightly stories with their misses. So
you gotta have a few. Vision. You gotta have a few dusky-haired Lady Satans.
Oh my God! Speaking of Lady Satans, let's have some adventures in intimacy.
Oh boy, I can't wait. There's a lot to dive into here. Oh gosh, where to even begin? I'll go in order. So, okay. In order of as I saw things. There's a scene where when we first meet Doc Holliday and he's playing poker. And I don't know if you noticed the beautiful painting behind him of a naked woman.
Oh, I don't know that I did. God damn it.
Oh, you missed out. But I was thinking about how when you're shooting something like that, one, that's purposeful, you know, sure. And then you also have to think about positioning. And in discussing such positions, I don't know if you necessarily need an IC there, but like you definitely need to be like practicing, you know, I'm just going to say it PC language. Like, don't be saying like, you know, oh, we got to make sure his tits or the woman's tits aren't right behind. I don't know. Just, you know, you would need to have a proper discussion because even in an unconventional workspace, you should have conventional language.
Yeah, true.
So something I thought of there. I like how much innuendo, like subtle innuendo there is throughout this that a lot of people would probably miss if they're not history buffs. Like, you know, Kate, his lover, you know, sits on his lap and he goes, oh, you're not wearing a bustle, which of course lets us know what kind of woman she is.
That's right. That's right.
Which, you know, listen, as the further into the movie you get, you realize pretty soon, okay, dark-haired women, we get it. You think we're whores. Got it.
You're also the ones we want to bed down with because the blondes are on laudanum.
The blondes are not fun in this. People, I'm developing a theory here, but I'm pretty sure blondes are not more fun. As we see in this movie and in It's a Wonderful Life, because who does he go? He tries to coerce Violet to go walking up the into the forest barefoot, and she loses her mind. Like, what?
Look, I think that I think post Marilyn Monroe, I think what we have been fed is brunettes are fucking amazing. Look at how hot they are. You should want to marry them. Blondes have been presented as kind of unattainable, but also kind of not worth it because they're kind of shitty.
But they're pure.
They're not though. That's not what it is. Like in Teen Wolf, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what we've got. Here we've got the blonde she's very attractive, but she's fucking drugged out on laudanum. Who wants to deal with that drama? I want to be with the brunette. She's interesting. She's smart. You know,
they're different.
Yeah, and like, I mean, Farrah Fawcett was a blonde. We're going to talk about Farrah Fawcett a little bit later, I think. But 2 of 3 Charlie's Angels were brunettes, and Daisy Duke, Wonder Woman, like Aaron Gray from Buck Rogers. Like, we're coming up on with some brunettes. There's a reason. I think I was conditioned to be a brunettes person. Like
oh darn!
I know it's a cross I bear.
Quite frankly, I've never been into blondes either, no matter what.
So I've driven us off course.
It's okay.
Like to grab the reins.
Oh, which leads a great segue into there's some horse flirtation. Literally, and okay, why do you think there's more than flirtation?
That movie was a fuck movie. That was a fuck scene. Oh my god, that was.
The horses don't fuck.
No, man.
Is it the waterfalls?
It was symbolism. He was horny.
Well, yes, of course.
But no, that was as close. That is the only sex scene in this movie. Okay, like
interesting.
They bring the horses together, and the male horse starts rutting around because he can smell that the female horse is in heat, and obviously that's Wyatt and the Satan. I can't remember what her character's name is, but she in fact Satan.
Lady Satan.
And he's like, well, we should probably separate these horses. We should separate you and me. And she's like, no, let's run it out of them. And so they start galloping, and then it's just full on fucking. Like they're just riding. If you don't think that every one of those bump bump up and downs on the horse is some fucking, that's what was happening in that scene. And then like they pull up at the edge of the cliff, and he's like, I think we've done far enough. And she's like, well, we can go further than that. And then literally they both go down.
Interesting.
Like, that was a sex scene. It was just put on horseback and run through the field.
Now, what an incredible example of how intimacy choreography can be stylized, and it doesn't have to be literal. Because even though you saw it more blatantly than I did, and maybe I'm just being...
Go back and watch it and tell me you're not like, whoa, that was some shit going on there.
It's not that I didn't see the innuendo. I just saw it as more subtle than that because, you know, he's mentioning how like, oh, she's in season. And she's like, well, how can you tell? Well, they can smell it. Just like men can smell, like human men can smell on women. They don't know that that's why they might be more attracted to a woman at certain times. But like we do have...
Pheromones are real.
Pheromones during ovulation are a very real thing. Yes, that's the point.
Yeah.
Biology is stupid and also like incredible, but it gets taken advantage of. Anyway, not the point. But he also has a line where he says, "I am an oak," and I'm like, oh, he's saying he's hard. Yeah, he's got wood. But again, they're having to keep the horses between them, even when they sit down together. He moves a little bit away. He stands up soon after. They have a tree between them at some point, which, you know, wood again. But like they're, even though they are like pushing the boundaries, they're doing this fun little dance, kind of like animals would do in, you know, in mating. Right. Did you see the horses nose to nose?
Oh yeah.
It was so cute, which you could say once they're, you know, parked, that is the post-coital moment, because, you know, lays down a blanket and it's...
Of course, yes, that's exactly what that was. Yes.
So yeah,
like,
well...
If this was Blazing Saddles, those horses would have smoked a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like if this was a silly movie...
If this was BoJack Horseman.
Yes, BoJack is smoking a cigarette after that ride. I'd be shocked and I've not seen all of BoJack,
I
but
haven't either.
I'd be shocked if they didn't recreate that in BoJack, like as an homage to the horses fucking in this movie. It'd be surprising to me if they didn't do that. But yeah, no, that was shot like a sex scene.
Well, I love it even more then, and now I'm gonna study it again because I like for my personal style, I do want to focus on doing more stylized stuff. I think it's more
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And quite honestly, it's more alluring. Just like the stuff that is scariest is the stuff we can't see.
Sure. Yeah, your imagination, let your imagination do the work. It's better than anything you can be shown on screen.
The worst, some of the
Definitely.
worst violent, intimate scenes that have been done on film are ones you haven't seen, you have heard.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Um, Going backwards a little bit,
yeah.
there's this great moment when I think it's after her show and she's being introduced sort of to Wyatt.
Mhm.
She bows, and of course it's like a here are the goods.
Uh-huh.
I thought that had to have been intentional.
Okay, here's the thing, and you don't know about this yet because it doesn't happen until next season. Um, but I'm gonna say two words right now, and you're gonna know them when you see them.
Oh God.
And those two words are Texas dip.
Oh, is that like the bend and snap?
No, it's not. It's far more preposterous. So when we get to the Texas dip, I just want you to remember that I brought it up here. That's all.
All right. So
Just,
sounds like it's a way to show your wares without, it's testing the waters, if you will.
sure, sure.
Um,
Oh, I will.
oh my. Let's see. We have three couples. We don't really see them very much. Like the marriages are very undersold. Like they are just these women existed. These people were married.
Yeah,
We had this lovely moment showing them all together and looking happy when they first get there. And that's probably the most we can tell, at least about all three of them together.
yeah,
Like we definitely see that Wyatt and his wife aren't happy. He's trying in the marriage, and poor thing is having a tough time. Like the wife, she is
yeah.
just having a tough time. Addiction, rough.
Hmm.
And then the other couples seem very happy, or at least Virgil and his wife seem very happy because after the show, the wife's like, well, the theater got me all hot and bothered, so
Yeah, we're gonna take care of business.
yeah, you all go to work. Billy Zane got me in the mood.
That's right. I'm making my own deal with my own devil. That's all I want to do.
Which is like, you know what? Billy Zane going home with Sam Elliott, not bad. Get it, honey.
Listen to your friend Billy Zane.
Yeah. And my complaints for the intimacy in this movie, the kisses were pretty boring.
Yeah, this wasn't so much a kissing movie.
This was not a kissing movie, which again tells me that the love story was pretty much thrown in. Like it was
I think it was there because it really happened, and that's the only reason. Narratively, it doesn't serve much of a purpose.
yeah, like it's written about, but it wasn't discussed. There wasn't I can tell there wasn't a lot of work put into it because that first kiss that they have is so generic and stiff,
Mm-hmm.
and not in a way. I mean, these people would not have been tentative in their first kiss. They have been longingly gazing at each other
Mm-hmm.
every single scene that they had from the
Yeah.
moment they met. Long gaze. Oh my God. I mean,
Plus
if you're
the
going
whole
to do
horse fucking thing.
well, yeah, if you're going to, well, you know what? Horse fucking goes hand in hand with a period drama because you need to have your long gazes and you
Mm-hmm.
need to have your horse fucking scenes because
Right.
otherwise you're not
Yeah,
going to get to have real fucking.
that's true. Yep. I
Basically.
mean, if you ain't got horse fucking, what do you got? Whole bunch of nothing. That's what I say.
And like their second kiss was better. It like they kind of melded into each other a bit more, but it was so corny. Like they're doing the cinematic spin and it's snowing and then they start dancing around and I'm like younger me would have been fine with this. But
Yeah.
I want more from my intimacy now. I want more from these love stories. I don't want something just thrown in. I mean, yes, it was there and that's great, but like care about it. It just feels like they went,
Yeah.
all right, well, we got to throw in this love story. God, this is so much less exciting.
Yeah.
Can she
It's
have a
way less
gun in
interesting.
her garter? No.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do that move. That's a good move. It's a good move for a Western. One for each of you.
Why, Johnny Ringo. I hate him.
No, I know I hate him. Um, any more intimacies?
No, that was it.
All right. Well, sit down with me at this here player piano, because this is where Needle Drop Forest is this week. We're not going to talk about Stephen Stinkin' Foster. We're going to talk about Frederick fucking Chopin.
Oh.
Because that's what Doc Holliday's playing. It's a nocturne. And I don't know much about Frederick fucking Chopin. So what I did is I went to Wikipedia and I was just, I was looking up nocturnes. I want to learn something about nocturnes. And I came across this paragraph that entertained me no end. Because I'm going to read it to you the way that I read it to myself when I first came across this, because and hopefully you'll see why this made me giggle quite a bit. This is under the section on his Wikipedia page called Influences. It says, in his youth, Chopin was told that he sounded like Field, who in turn was later described as sounding Chopinesque. The composer, Frederick Kalkbrenner, one of Chopin's earlier influences, once inquired as to whether Chopin was a student of Field. Can you believe it? While Chopin held Field in high respect and considered him one of his primary influences, Field had a rather negative view of Chopin's work. Upon meeting Chopin and hearing his nocturnes in 1832, Field is said to have described the composer as a sickroom talent.
Oh.
Nonetheless, Chopin still admired Field and his work and continued to take inspiration throughout his life. That is ridiculous. I don't even know who Field is, but these two guys circling each other like this in this paragraph was ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Chopin was compared to Field, but then Field was compared to Chopin. Can you believe it? It's delicious.
My stars.
I don't even know what to do with Wikipedia sometimes. But if all of Wikipedia was read like a saucy gossip column, I think I would enjoy it more.
I would too. Also, I hate to do this. I completely forgot about Doc Holliday and his Lady Satan.
Oh, yes.
Because
I don't have any more to say other than that paragraph on Chopin and Field that I found.
Okay. It was delightful.
Yeah.
Not so much. Doc and Kate had an interesting relationship, and I mean, it was clearly like a work friends with benefits kind of thing. But there, he's ill.
Mm-hmm.
Having his first bout of like showing us how serious his illness is, and the first time I watched it, I thought, is she in denial? And then I thought, and he even acknowledges, he's like, you are a good woman, or you're the Antichrist.
Maybe the Antichrist. Yep.
And I thought, oh shit, like maybe she's trying to kill him so that she can get his money. I don't know.
I didn't get that vibe, but
well, again, I don't think her role was written very well.
Yeah.
That woman was supposed to be Hungarian, and I barely heard anything.
Yeah.
Because she said Val took all the dialect.
Right. Yeah. None left. The whole box was empty.
When she's trying to like entice him into doing, into having relations, she's like very carefully laying on him, and like moves her hand, and the camera shows her move her hand down his leg, and then right as she's going up, the camera pulls away, which I was like, cool, because they went, no, we're not showing that, and we're not making her do that, hopefully. Making him endure that, both sides. But again, so carefully done. I thought either you're trying to tell the story of she actually is worried about how sick he is, or you've got an actress who is uncertain in this moment. Like, again, movements that should have been more relaxed, and physical movements that should have been more relaxed and not as frozen, not as tentative.
Gotcha.
At least from her, because she is definitely less ladylike than Josephine, the actress.
So, okay. So I didn't get tentativeness out of her. What I got was her, like, I think she loves Doc. Okay. And I think she knows that what he needs is to rest, but that's not who he is. And he wouldn't be with her if she wasn't encouraging of him to be who he is at all times. Like, he wouldn't have been attracted to her if she wasn't like feeding into his baser instincts. That's just what she does. So she should let him lay there and heal. But she's not going to do that because she knows that deep down, that's not who he is. He is self-destructive.
Then I needed more motion in that. I needed more of her actually, maybe getting a bit more on top of him, and then like doing, because remember how in Cruel Intentions, she's like her back is right against him and her arm is going down. I don't need that necessarily, but like you can do that while on top of someone and then you show the arm.
Sure.
And like, again, I needed something a bit more suggestive.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought their relationship was interesting. There could have been more done with it.
Yeah. Because like when he's playing and she's just laying against him, I thought that was really sweet. I loved that. And I'm like, again, a lot of character development that was missed out on.
Yeah. Or just done off to the side.
Yeah.
Like you really got to pay attention or you miss it.
Oh my God.
You got more.
I'm sorry, but this can kind of move into what else. But like, I think we discovered we have an unspoken gay subplot.
Oh yeah. I think it's, I mean, I feel like it's, I think it's right there. I don't think you have to dig too much.
Maybe, but I missed it. And I know we have joked about my like persistent naivete, but at the same time, I think other people could also easily miss it. Like everyone has different levels of experience and knowledge, and I think they did the subtleties really well here with like, because he comes in, Jason Priestley's character, Billy, and I forget if they're calling him Pretty Billy or something, but like, they're picking on him, and you notice that he sits by Curly Bill.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we first meet him is when the performance is happening.
Yes.
Like the Faust and Henry, that whatever. And he's sitting right next to Curly Bill, like right on his left hand. Yeah. And he is the only person in the audience that's a cowboy that is watching the play. Mm-hmm. Like because not a play, they're doing scenes, but watching the performance and being enraptured by the performance.
Yeah.
Right. All the other cowboys are shooting the boom, boom, boom and throwing things. And how fat was she? Whatever.
Because it's gay to like theater.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, yes, that's what we're being shown. This guy likes theater. Ergo, he is gay. Also, why is he with this group of people? Like, why is he one of these cowboys? He doesn't fit in. He's cultured. He's erudite. He is clearly in love with Billy Zane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as when he touches his hand after he's killed.
When he's
like,
dead.
And when they're like, when Curly Bill is like, what do you think? And he's like, I think this is whatever he says. Like, he is enraptured.
I think he's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. He's enraptured by Billy Zane and theater. And I'm pretty sure he's fucking Curly Bill. Because that's why he's his, his squire or whatever. Like, whatever that relationship is, whatever you call that in the Old West, that's what that was. He was... Curly Bill wanted him there because he was fucking this pretty little boy.
But then I don't know how Curly Bill gets away with... Because they're making fun of Billy, but they're not making fun of Curly Bill. Like,
because Curly Bill's the boss.
Okay.
Yeah, Curly Bill is Tony Soprano. Like, you don't fuck with the boss. Like, the boss can do whatever he wants. He can fuck whoever he wants. We're not going to say boo because that's the boss.
Got it.
But we can pick on this little twink. And so, of course, that's what they do, But
yeah.
I think very clearly Billy is coded as gay. And I think that's the relationship we're supposed to read into it, if we read into it at all. I think that's what that relationship is.
Yeah. And maybe it's not so much that it's subtle, but I just think it is so glossed over.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we don't really get much acknowledgement from Curly Bill other than like, what do you think of him?
Right. But like, I bet you that the dynamic there is all the other cowboys are shooting the ceiling and being rowdy assholes. If Curly Bill had looked at Billy and Billy had been out on it, not invested in this,
mm-hmm.
I think the cowboys go nuts on these theater people. I think somebody gets shot maybe during the performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Billy is into this and Curly Bill sees it. And so no one else goes too far.
That's really sweet. That's so sad, but it's really sweet when you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Can you maybe tell the rest of your audience to... here's the thing I got from that scene, too. I was like, man, audiences have always been shit.
Well, sure. Yeah. And it's really hard to watch that scene and not think of Three Amigos.
I don't remember.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile. And not for nothing, but the town at the beginning of this movie is the town that the Three Amigos come to save.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the opening shot of the movie, I see that the church, and I'm like, that's the Three Amigos church. And I Googled it real quick, and I just wrote, I think I looked up Three Amigos Tombstone. And it popped up where this was shot, and it the lists all the things that are shot there. And sure enough, those two movies. Made me happy as punch. So I had written Billy's gay, right? In my what else? It was one of my what else notes.
And it took me rewatching it today.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I don't think I'd picked up on that before, but watching it last night, I was like, oh, I'm not even sure they're hinting at it. I think they're just kind of saying it.
No, I think they're hinting at it.
Yeah, but it's a pretty strong hint.
It's not, well, that's fine, but it's not Brokeback Mountain. It's,
Well, no, but this is about as direct as you can get in 1993 in a mainstream movie.
Yeah, and in a Western, in a movie that is supposed to draw a mostly masculine crowd, and you're throwing in a gay character, that's a bold move.
Yep. No, I just didn't realize that's how he walked.
What?
And when he's walking like John Wayne in the birdcage.
Oh,
yeah! No good? No, I just didn't realize that's how he walked.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God! When are we gonna watch that?
I don't know. We'll have to find a reason. I do not wear the shoes because they make me fall down.
I there's the toast.
There's the toast. Is this anyone's defining role?
Maybe Val Kilmer?
Maybe.
His book is called I'm Your Huckleberry.
Yeah, it may be. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, the problem is he did like 4 or 5 things that are kind of iconic.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Iceman in Top Gun is pretty iconic. His Jim Morrison is through the roof. There's this. It wasn't very good, but he did fucking play Batman.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's not as bad. The George Clooney one's pretty rough. It's not great, but
I know it's not, but I still want to listen.
I liked him as Batman, though.
I'm engaged to a completionist movie viewer.
Sure.
And for the most part, I'm usually able to be like, no, we're going to stop here. Or I'm going to stop here. Like with Karate Kid. No, I'm done. I'm good on 1. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Watching the Aliens movies. I'm done after 4. I'm done.
Got it.
But no, I really do want to see all of the Batman movies because it's Batman.
Sure. You're gonna enjoy the shit out of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Oh my god.
That might be the only thing I ever watch him in, so it's got to happen at some point.
Let's kick some ice.
Stop.
All he does is cold jokes.
Oh my god.
It's cold puns left and right.
Oh god. Okay.
It's super silly. Yeah. So this might be Val Kilmer's defining role. It's definitely in the conversation. Like if you said it's Doc Holliday, no one's going to say you're nuts.
Yeah.
So, it's not Kurt Russell's. Kurt Russell's kind of Kurt Russell, but I think he's probably Snake Plissken. I think that's probably from the Escape from L.A. movie.
Oh, okay.
Like the big thing. Although there's a person in my house to whom I'm related by marriage who is a big fan of Big Trouble in Little China.
He's just Goldie Hawn's husband to me. Like, that's all. I don't know him.
Have you seen Overboard?
I have.
That movie is a delight.
Yeah.
That movie is very
It's a little weird, but it is funny.
It's very funny. Yeah. No, shouts to Overboard.
He is Star-Lord's dad.
Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daddy was a planet.
I do like the stuff he's done with Tarantino. Him and The Hateful Eight, I thought he was fantastic. So I don't think this is his defining role, but
same mustache.
Yeah, true. It's not Sam Elliott. It's not Bill Paxton.
No.
What's Bill Paxton's, do you think?
Twister.
Oh, we must have done Bill Paxton because I think you said that before.
Or Aliens.
Oh my god, he's so annoying in that. I just want to kill him. I'm glad he's on.
See, we found him hilarious, but it's Twister.
Oh. Okay, I don't think for me it's not. For me, it's either Aliens or possibly Chet from Weird Science.
I just remembered he's in Titanic also, which would have been the first thing I saw him in. But no, it's still Twister.
Okay. All right. Definitely not Billy Bob Thornton.
No.
Not Thomas Hayden Church. It's not Michael Biehn. I think Kyle Reese in Terminator is his thing. Mm-hmm. Not Charlton Heston. Not Jason Priestley. Dana Delaney is China Beach.
Desperate Housewives.
I'm
just throwing things out to be silly.
No, somebody might think that. Dana Wheeler Nicholson is obviously Waiting for Fletch. John Corbett is Chris in the Morning. But, maybe you think he's from Sex and the City.
I didn't want to say it. That was the only one I didn't want to say. I hate knowing anything about that show. Yeah.
And Terry Quinlan is, I wrote an O, and I'm not sure if there's an O in his name or not. But he's in Lost. He's Locke.
Locke, definitely.
Yeah,
He
100%.
popped up, and I hit Walter, and I went, Locke!
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he was great in that. So, yeah, and Charlton Heston's fucking Moses.
Moses.
Or Soylent Green, but it's Moses.
It's Moses.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
playing a Mexican when he shouldn't be.
That's true. Oh, so yeah, this is like at least our second Charlton Heston. That's right. Hey, what is this the EST of for you?
Okay, this one was really tough for me.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to me, I feel like this is the most Hollywood film ever. I feel like this has all of the ingredients. Excuse me. I'm just going to sound weird. This has everything that Hollywood ever wanted. It has westerns,
Cowboys.
it has guns, cowboys, it has subtle gay men, it's got huckleberries, it's got dusky hued women, Lady Satans.
That's right. Yes, it does.
It really has everything that Hollywood ever wanted to have in a film. A western, a love story, like shootouts.
Uh-huh. And a cast that is longer than your arm. Like, I mean, it's just loaded with talented actors. Like,
I think movies like this are how we get someone like Tarantino making an even larger version of it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because he knows. That or this has the most standoffs I've ever seen.
There's a lot of standoffs. So a lot of the things that I would say that this would be the EST of, it's not, because Deadwood does all of it more and better.
Okay.
Like the dialogue pieces, the character pieces. I just think Deadwood takes all of this stuff and classes it up by about 70%. And like uses the word cocksucker like 1,000 times.
Cocksucker.
Oh my God. Every cocksucker in this movie. The cursing in Deadwood is next level amazing cursing.
It's got this has the best Western dialect. If I ever have to do a Western and they try to tell me it's not Val Kilmer's, I'm getting a new dialect coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Daisy if you do. So I feel like this would be like the most 90s-ist because of the stars. Like the people in it are super fucking 90s. Early 90s anyway. I don't know. It's one of my favorite Westerns, and that's not a genre that I'm in love with.
Same.
But this and Unforgiven are probably my two favorite.
Okay.
Unforgiven, we'll have to find a reason to watch. That's Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman. Is
that the one where Gene Hackman is wearing that hat? No, that's French Connection or something. I don't know.
It's a Western. He's wearing a cowboy hat.
Okay. Then no, not the hat I'm thinking of.
No, probably not. That might be French Connection. Might be a Papa Doyle thing. That's a great movie too, by the way. Okay. All right. I think once again, we have proven my theory that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even Tombstone.
Even Tombstone, you guys. So next week, join us here on Wednesday when we watch season 4, episode 9, Otherwise Engaged. And I think next week might be the time to watch Starship Troopers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
Our Spelling connection is one of the stars of Starship Troopers. So if you look at the poster, you'll go, oh, I know why we're watching this.
Okay.
Yeah. Like she's on the poster and she's sweating in the gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch Starship Troopers because I thought it was a big cornball fest when I watched it before, but I think that's the point. I think it's
Okay.
it's I think it's I think it's very subtle. It's either like satire or allegory, and it was shit that I just missed.
Got it.
Like that part was over my head. So this movie has legions of fans, and
Oh.
so I'll be interested to watch it and see if I see what it is they love about it that isn't just Denise Richards topless. Which,
Oh. All right.
oh yeah,
Won't have
co-ed
anything
showers.
to say about that.
Co-ed showers. It's the future, everybody.
It's an 80s movie, isn't it?
No, it's a '90s movie.
Oh, well, the 90s had some problems too.
No, that ain't a problem. That's a solution. Here for what ails you, right there. All right. So until then, Cheesemeisters.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm your Huckleberry.
A daisy if you do.